Fragments. Hello. Vanessa recaps the last session.
We went shopping.
Take inspiration.
Thank you.
Now, who did we see? What did we learn?
We met up with an old woman. What was her name? Methuselah. I'll need some help with the name.
Melbetta.
Melbetta, thank you. Who was very kind and assigned a guide to us for our shopping excursion. A man named Elsos, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What was peculiar about this man was that this was the same man that we saw von Wolf kill, or at least the fake creature that adopted this form of this person. So we hit up a couple magic shops. Vanessa got a parasol along the way. We met up with a magic item dealer, Smithereens, and he was very kind. I don't think any of us really got anything from there aside from Vanessa being gifted a pendant of Torm.
Hell?
Hell, yes, thank you. Same difference, really. But then we saw hit up an herbalist, whose name I also don't remember. But she told us about certain herbs, certain plants that were growing that could be used for spell work as well as poisoning. She also told us about, and I think between the two of them, they told us about different locations. We also got a map at Smithers' shop. But she was the one who I think told us about a curse on Kaz Island and there being some sort of, I guess, exclusive plants or lost recipes there. And that if we would go find them, we would be rewarded with her gifting us whatever she's able to yield from said either ingredients or recipes.
Almost. She said she would gift you the Revivify that you otherwise wanted 600 gold for.
Yes, that's the one. Also, there's a mosquito thing that I want. So I got to do something for that, though. I don't remember what I want.
That's it, the Revivify.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's okay.
We are one and the same.
Fly.
Hilarious.
It's a hilarious. Yeah, the best.
Expertly crafted pun. Unless there's anything else that I'm missing.
No, you decided you were gonna charter or buy a boat, then head on over to the island. And as you stood on the street making your plans to go and do this, you saw that Grigori was approaching you. So we will pick up with you and he reuniting.
Is Elthos still with us?
No, Elthos got off, remember, when he saw Grigori down the street making his way towards you. He decided to get off. So yeah, you see Grigori approach. He has been about his business.
Greetings, Mr. Von Wolf. Productive morning? Or afternoon?
Where are we at now? Is it afternoon?
Early afternoon.
Productive enough. And yourselves?
I have to say, it's quite refreshing to get to visit shops with magic. The place we were before had no such things. It was completely barren of magic. Most dismaying for one such as myself.
Quite. And what is it exactly that you were a learned man, yes?
Yes, I was apprenticed to a powerful mage.
Well, there are indeed many that are magically inclined in Victal and beyond. So I'm sure you will feel more at home here than most places.
Yes, indeed, it's marvelous. Even the regular folk seem to be going about their business using magical means. So we'd been talking to both Svenemin and Cassandra. I'm sure you know both of them. about some potential leads on some work, since, I mean, we have little direction at the moment. They mentioned Kaz Island. Do you know much of it?
I do. Well, as much as most. They said there was work there to be had.
Indeed, Cassandra wants 3 tomes that she believes will be able to be found there from the alchemist who once lived there, and in recovering it, we would be able to, we'd be rewarded. And beyond that, there is apparently a treasure cache potentially in Brickdarrow, further north. So, something funny.
It is humorous that the moment newcomers come to Vixhal that they are trying to send you to the 2 places that nobody in Vixhal would go to. Brickdarrow is somewhere that most would steer clear of, but not necessarily never go to. But Cass Island, no one goes to Cass Island, ever.
Are
Well,
these places that you would steer clear of?
Say again, sorry, Vanessa.
Are these places that you would steer clear of?
They are places that I have never visited, yes. I've been close enough to Brickdarrow that I do not feel I need to go any further. But as for Cass Island, I sailed close enough to it as a boy, but not one to tempt Mother's fate. And so no, even I have not set foot on its shore.
well, I don't doubt it would be dangerous, but unless we're going to make a living gathering herbs from the eastern shore, perhaps it would be a good place to start. We're surprisingly capable of handling ourselves, but obviously we don't know truly what might await us.
What were you told of the place?
I believe we were told that
There's a curse.
indeed those who lived there abandoned belief in the mother, and she placed a curse upon the place, and they were no longer protected from fey creatures. So it's likely to be inhabited by such beings.
More than possible. Nobody visits it, so nobody would really know. But as far as it being a place that is cursed, I don't know. Mother protects, but there are many that say that she does not protect that place. Even reaching it is the greater issue.
Greater issue? I mean, we figured that we could catch a ride on a fishing boat or something of the like.
I doubt anyone will sail close enough to it. You were not told of the Avank, I take it.
I'm afraid. Well, I think Sveneman might have mentioned dangers in the water, but I certainly have never heard that word before.
It is not surprising that it was conveniently left out. It is a creature that is known to protect, perhaps, or at least inhabit the waters near Cass. But no one for sure can say exactly what it is or what it looks like. There are reports that it is the length of 5 men, some say 10. Some say it has a head like a giant bird and rows of teeth like a lumber saw.
I see.
And it was not mentioned.
Well, it was not Sveneman who suggested we travel to Kaz Island. I don't think. Cassandra certainly didn't mention the dangers of the water, if she knows about them, that is.
Everybody knows about the Avank. This is why nobody goes too close to the island. To die out there, if there is no protection from Mother on that cursed shore, that would indeed be a terrible place to die. And yet you
So
are
then-
keen to go, which is surprising. You're definitely not folk of this place.
Well, the last place we were at was inhabited by hordes of undead monstrosities. So far, this place seems like something of an upgrade.
Perhaps. Still, how you intend to get over there? I dare say that no one will sail you themselves. I doubt that anyone would willingly provide you with a boat, under the presumption that you would never come back.
Hmm. Do you know of the distance between the peninsula that runs close to the island and the island itself?
Undoubtedly too far for most to swim, if that is what you are thinking. Plus, you would be extremely vulnerable as you drew closer.
But if we could travel magically, for example.
How far, DM? I'm presuming our Quint here is considering the fly spell.
Hmm.
Let me show you. We established last time that on the Tempest map, each hex is a mere half a mile.
So going all the way north, just over that peninsula. Okay. So, not that far then.
Yeah.
We could most definitely make our way
Are
up
we-
there.
Are we wanting to take a boat? Are we wanting to go over the water and not just around?
We could.
You've been
but
through the Motherwood, haven't you?
I have.
It seems that sailing would be more direct and faster. Is it only dangerous? I mean, there are fishermen. Is it only dangerous once you get closer to the island?
Yes, the fishermen would stay closer to Victal. There are few that would range as far as the Mother would anyway. The Mother
Wow.
provides a bounty from the bosom, both the land and the shore.
We could potentially sail part way and hoof it the rest. I'm confident that we would be able to magically traverse the water running between the land and the island, since it does not appear to be far as the map goes.
I would be interested in accompanying you.
Oh,
Well, I have to say, if it is overrun with fey creatures, having someone who is accustomed to slaying them, that does sound like it would be mutually beneficial.
What would your interest be
I have never been
in
there.
joining us?
You're intending to go to places that typically I have little reason to go alone. But I have tread the lengths and depths of the Goblin Wood more times than I can count. Sometimes a new adventure is always an interesting one. And new companions.
I think we're likely to be able to find a boat of some description at Brigdarrow. I believe it's abandoned, is it not? And it is shoreside.
I imagine that
Perhaps too old.
perhaps the things that grow there, they are somewhat all-encompassing. I imagine that it would be unwise to go there under the presumption that a boat would be readily available. But that isn't to say that it isn't.
Hmm. Well
I
then,
see we have two options here. We can either try to purchase either a boat or even a boatman, should they be foolish enough to come with us, or we traverse the Mother Wood and go up to that peninsula there and make our way across. I asked about you in the Mother Wood. Do you believe that that would be more treacherous or less than traveling through the lake directly?
It would be more treacherous, I imagine. But I have traveled the Motherwood many years, and so the things there I am not personally afraid to face. It is worse at night than it is during the day, that's for sure. And there are certain areas that we must keep away from, but I think it would be faster to go by foot and less energetic than trying to row the shoreline to Cass.
GM, can I insight Wolfboy to see what his interest is in joining us, if he seems legit?
Go for it. Make a deception check, Grigori.
Oh, let me hit F5 again. Still got that thing when I load in where it doesn't let me select my characters and stuff.
Do you want me to roll it for you while you're loading in?
It should load up quick. Oh no, right, I have to completely close Foundry. Yeah, go on, you roll it while I'm logging back in.
A 15. Whisper rolls higher. Does he seem to be forthright?
I think for a person that you have met for the first time, that you have certain issues of trusting, he seems about as trustworthy as you could expect him to be. He doesn't seem to be out and...
Such a vague answer. I
Hasn't
rolled
finished.
higher.
He hasn't finished.
Hold on it. He doesn't seem like he's lying. He seems like
Okay.
he's interested in joining you. So you take that as well, that's obviously the truth.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, would you still trust him even knowing that? Okay, I'm not lying.
We need to
Out of
race
char- out of
change Whisper.
Out of character,
Whisper to a Tortolan.
Yeah, out of character,
I
I'm
feel
not
like
lying.
you roll an insight, and if you beat the deception, your
Yeah.
insight is valid,
Sure.
right? So
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think you always load what you want that insight to do. Like, is he now a fully trusting person? It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, he seems on the level about...
no, I just want to know: does he actually want to join because he's never been there? Does he seem
Okay.
legit in
Yeah, okay.
his reason that he gave me? I asked him a direct question. He gave a direct answer. It's pretty
Sure.
straightforward insight roll.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Then yeah, he seems like he's just interested in going there. His interest was
Okay.
piqued. Sure.
I don't suddenly trust him because he wasn't lying about
Okay,
that.
that's,
Don't worry.
okay, cool. That's what I was getting at.
Wind your neck in. Good grief.
Right.
Okay.
Let's-
Well, I'm inclined to go with the devil we know and not the one that we don't. What do the rest of you think?
seems wise to me. It's not a particularly long distance, judging by the scale of the map. Even walking around the edge of the water from here all the way to Brigdarrow along the east coast is only about 7 miles in total. So, perfectly doable. If the terrain is uneven or the forest thick, then it might take us a few hours. But if the going is good, like 2 hours?
DM, have we seen any horses or stables here?
Can't you hear them? We keep
No.
clip, clop, clip, clop,
Yes,
and
in
by.
fact, I asked that last time, and the answer was yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've seen a fair few horses.
Yeah. Mr. Von Wolf, how do people of Victal feel about renting out their horses or having them purchased for such an excursion?
How do they feel, DM?
I mean, I don't really think Gori has the best, the best.
I've never hired
experience
anything.
of
I
this.
take it if I want it.
Pretty much. You would know that people who don't own a horse or own a timeshare in a horse, can rent them for a daily rate.
Sure. Okay. There are those that would hire their horses depending on what their use was. If you wish to be forthcoming, then I doubt they would be willing to let you take them that far north. Also, keeping in mind, we would have to leave them alone when we went to Cass. I doubt they would be able to cross the waters themselves. But if there is any resistance to anybody wishing to relieve themselves of their horses, then I am useful in that regard. There's very few people that aren't willing to accommodate me in some way or another.
Yes, it did seem like you had a bit of a reputation around here.
People are extremely helpful in Victal.
So we've seen.
Speaking of your reputation, when we first came upon you, you had recently killed someone with which it seemed you had shared a fire and a meal with. How do we know you will not act against us?
I had not shed fire nor meal. I had found them where they were camping and killed them where they had made camp. I told you that I was hunting the creature.
And we did, in fact, end up meeting the one whom it appeared to be impersonating. You said the creature was went by the name of Elthos. Oh, we have met.
How did he seem?
Smitten with Cassandra?
Agitated at the mention of your name?
Well, both seem true enough.
Well, if we can't fetch horses, then by foot it is. Unless we have some other means, other ideas.
It is an easy enough walk, particularly through the bosom. The Motherwood has its areas that are thicker than others, but if we are looking to go to Cass, then staying by the shoreline would surely not be much of an issue.
Would a fisherman perhaps take us up to the mouth of the river that leads into the Motherwood?
I'm sure if I asked, they would, yes.
Perhaps that's the way then. We can save a few hours, even possibly a day, on the water, and then travel the rest by foot.
Then let us do it.
Oh, to the wharfs you go. The river has quite a couple of jetties and a bit of wharf side where you can see there are a lot of fishermen and crabbers coming in and going. Couple of dozen boats docked up with active crews talking, and you can see more drifting in and out of the river. It's very easy for you to find someone to approach.
You say we're in the afternoon, yeah? Late afternoon.
Early afternoon.
Early afternoon. Okay. So I'm imagining people are kind of like coming, given that it's a lake, are people just generally like coming back and forth? They go out, fish for a bit, come back, and okay. Then I'll look around for anyone that looks like they're going to be heading out soon.
Yeah, you see a statuesque, bit of an Amazonian woman in a maybe late 40s, black and silver streaked hair, sort of tied back into a bun, and she's efficiently sorting out a couple of nets ready for throwing when she's out on the lake. And you see there's a second boat next to her with, judging by his hair and build, what's possibly a younger brother.
Do I recognise them? Because I know I don't obviously know everybody in town, or...
But yeah, I feel like you'd recognise her, but you wouldn't know name.
Sure. Okay. Then, yeah, start heading over. Well, I point to them. So it looks like this boat will be ready to leave soon. Just need to see if they will perhaps head a little further north than they maybe intended. And
Sounds good.
I will approach. And are they already on the boat?
Yeah, they're not cast off. They're standing.
Sure.
You know, they're loading back. They're hopping off and on.
Cool. I will walk over and kind of like where it's kind of like moored up on the rope. I will kind of like just stand on the rope with an indicator that, you know, this isn't going while I'm stood on this rope, and say, "Fair day."
And she sort of looks up and looks to the man for a moment and says, "Fair day. How can I help you?"
My new companions and I are seeking a quick journey up north to the river, the Motherwood.
And she sort of, her eyes go to you all. She's like, "Welcome. You're new in town, yes?"
Yes, fairly new.
"We're happy to have you here. What takes you in that direction?"
Well,
Showing
we've
them-
heard there's...
Okay, yeah, I'll turn over. Yeah, interesting to hear Vanessa's take.
Well, our guide here, and she gestures towards Wolfie, our guide here said that there is game to be found in the Motherwood, and, well, we specialize in looking for certain things, and we hope that we could perhaps bring something back to the village, something that would be useful.
That's very, very considerate. I imagine a great deal of people will be very, very grateful.
It's the least that we can do.
I'm Kate offers a hand up. You slightly wet and fishy gloved hand, but she offers it.
We can also take it, but it'll be sort of like limp, not trying to get her gloves too damp. Finesse.
This one's my brother, Blackavar. Do the rest of you have names?
Yes, of course. Call me Quint.
Whisper.
Does she look at me for my name, or is there a?
No.
You know, she knows who I am. I don't know
Yeah.
who she is. She knows who I am. Okay, cool. I mean, I saw that there was an exchange with her and her brother. Just wasn't sure.
You'd need to... All of you going, yes?
Yes,
Indeed.
indeed.
You need to split across both boats then.
And then we shall.
What time do you seek to leave? We were planning to go in about 15.
I believe that we could be ready by then. Yes? And she looks at the others.
Fine by me.
It's to the mouth of the Mother's River.
Hopefully, we are not putting you out too much.
It's a little further than we were planning to go, but the fishing will be just as good. You've been making your way back on foot?
Undoubtedly.
Very well. We can leave a bit quicker if you make yourself useful and show us what strength I've heard about. Sort of points to a couple of a big stack of like lobster pots and crab crates.
Sure. I will happily go over, not even thinking about it. Pick up as many as I can.
So as you touch the cursed lobster pot, you become a jewel.
And I go to run
Yeah.
after them. I start going sideways. Come back!
So yeah, if they're loaded up, then she's ready to head off 5 minutes later. If anybody has anything they want to do.
Is Lake Corona freshwater or saltwater?
Fresh. Why?
No, I was just wondering if these were
Oh,
freshwater lobster and crabs.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm just staring at Blackavar.
I think Vanessa's just staring at Bunwolf. Look at these, there we go, yeah.
And Quint's just happy to be out the centre. So yeah, how do you split on these boats?
I will just get onto the first one. Well, whichever I end up loading stuff on last.
Yeah.
Put it down and I just kind of sit down.
Okay.
I'll ride with Kate.
Okay.
I'll get
What?
in Blackavar's boat.
Okay. And Quint, there's room in each.
I'll go with Whisper.
Okay. You get in your boats and they push off. They don't seem to look to you to row. And yeah, the siblings push off and start sailing you out into Lake Kronov. Looking around, it is beautiful and picturesque in every direction. As you start to head up and head out, before I start describing the things you see, does anyone have a specific conversation they want to strike up while they are on the water? No. Okay.
Not necessarily. I was just wondering, was Kate and her brother like human or?
Yeah. Yeah, both seem to be. As
And I
you
did wanna-
head...
sorry.
Go on.
I did want to, as we were getting on, scan with my eyes, Eldritch Sight, their boats, just to see if there was anything on them.
Oh, completely mundane. Yeah, very, very mundane. As same for them and the items we had on them. The bosom looks to be I think I mentioned briefly when you climbed the hill and looked out. The bosom is the tithe lands of Falcovnia if they weren't 12 weeks into a very, very strong summer. You see large swaths of farmland that doesn't look like it's being heavily tapped. The land doesn't seem to be exhausted here in the way that things were churned over in Falcovnia. Everything looks very sustainable, very happy and peaceful. As you head out more and get past the rocks, you immediately identify the patch of forest between two of the mountains that is Taran Ecoed. Slightly more pine, a bit of a steeper climb up towards the mountains than the rest of the forest you can see. And slightly darker, not in like the spooky haunted Webby Woods way, just it looks more like a forest in winter. Dark leaves, dark pines. The Goblin Wood, for its name, looks just as picturesque from here as the rest of the forest you've been through. And yeah, you can see a blip on the distance that is Kaz Island, but not close enough yet to make out any specific details unless anyone's about to bust any sort of magic out. But yeah, after...
Yeah. Oh. Just gonna scan with my eyes.
Yeah, from here, I mean, that's beyond the sight of your Eldritch is still only 60 feet, isn't it? So yeah, you just see it looks exactly the same to you.
Magical fish.
I'm probably scanning. I would probably be keeping my eyes to the western shores as we cross by Tyrannicoid and then Goblinwood, kind of like just keeping a look on the tree line, see if there's anything about.
Yeah, make a perception check.
I'm not sure Quint would ever have ridden on a boat before, so he's just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, seems to be an uneventful, peaceful shoreline all the way up the west coast. Takes about 45 minutes, an hour, to reach the point where Rivermouth is. You notice there's a couple of times where, after a glance over her shoulder back towards her brother's boat, Kate will just very discreetly just hold off a bit and wait for him to catch up sort of 15 or 20 feet. His boat lagged behind before picking back up. But yeah, you reach just past the mouth around this hex, and Kate says, do you want me to pull ashore anywhere along here?
And I'll kind of like point to the kind of like the forested peninsula area.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere along there would be fine.
So yeah, they begin to head ashore. They find this little cove here. There's a part you can get up. And yeah, they come ashore, run the boat close up to the sand for they jump out and just drag it on a little bit to stop it from drifting off. Does this suit you well?
It does indeed. Much appreciation, Kate. Mother's blessing for your harvest today. Good fishing.
And for your excursion.
Thank you to you and your brother.
Yeah, I'm just giving her a nod, and I'm already kind of like jumping off the boat as I'm kind of like walking.
What are you saying, Vanessa?
No, she was just saying thank you to Kate.
Okay, no. If you make it back in time, you shall have to tell us of your exploits. Your mother's welcome tonight. The drinks will be on us.
Kind of like
Most appreciate it.
turn on my shoulder and give her a nod.
Right, come on, Blackavart. And sort of pushes, jumps back on. And yeah, they head back out and start to head south. And you find yourselves on the shores of the Motherwood. What is your plan from here?
I would presume walk north along the coast until we walk all the way around, so we're opposite Cass Island.
Pretty much.
Yeah? Are you going to be leading the way, Grigori?
One would presume I would be at the forefront of such endeavors.
Make a survival check with advantage. Yeah, you get round there in good time. Uneventfully. You manage to keep to the shoreline comfortably almost the entire way. There's a bit of a 20-minute period where it gets rocky and Grigori leads you off onto like a side path that, even though it feels like it's just leading you deep into the forest, it does then very abruptly turn a corner and put you back on the shore you were, but further down. And yeah, you come to a point where you are able to see Cass Island very, very nearby.
I would like to sidle up next to Vanessa and just say, there is something odd happening.
Yes.
I have now encountered, and we have not met that many thus far, but 2 separate people with names that are unique to my clan's history and mythology that I've never encountered anywhere else, except for in that history.
Well, I remember, wasn't it one of the satyrs called themselves Thrift?
Frith, the name of my god,
Frith.
yes.
Yes.
However, that boy just now was named Blackavar, which is a character from old stories of my people.
We know
And
that-
honestly, the only reason I was willing to get on a boat.
Well, we know that this place is been, I guess, tainted with fey magic, and they could be playing some kind of sort of trickery or something of that nature. We also know that these domains, at least the ones that we've visited so far, all 2 of them, they have a way about them with playing with perception. Perhaps it's doing something similar here. There was,
Yes.
out of character, there was someone here named Irina, right? Or Irene? Okay.
Marina.
Marina.
That's it. Okay.
I do not know what the trick is yet, but there is a trick. Figured I would let you know. In case you notice anything else. For your own part.
I appreciate it. If I encounter anything like that, I'll let you know.
I'll go back to just walking behind Grigori with everyone else.
I'd say as
Kinda
we're
step
kind of like,
back.
as we're drawing closer to Cass, even though I imagine I have at least been on this peninsula before,
Mm-hmm.
I will draw my greatsword. Just kind of like walk with it cradled in my arm.
Yeah, you reach a point where you are as close on land as you're going to get. There's a couple of 100 feet between you and the island. What do you intend to do?
I mean, I look to Quint. Well, you said you had a way for us to cross. Does that still hold true?
Indeed, it's not too far. I could enchant one of us with the ability to fly, and then I imagine it would be that person's responsibility to ferry the rest of us over. Naturally, as the strongest of the group, and by far the largest, I expect it would be best if I were to cast it upon your good self.
And I would fly.
You would indeed. I know it sounds quite preposterous, ridiculous even, but once the spell is cast, it's as simple as walking. It comes naturally.
I am no stranger to magic, let us not forget.
Of course, yes.
It is not something I have experienced. But as I said, I am all about new experiences today.
Well, it's only a couple 100 feet, and the enchantment would last for 10 whole minutes, as long as I'm concentrating. So obviously it's paramount that I maintain my concentration. But other than that, you should have free reign to go back and forth.
Then of you two, and I point at Vanessa and whisper, who's the stronger? Most powerful to be left on their own on Cass.
I can stay behind. Whisper if it's easier.
I am fine either way. Whatever you think.
How long do I think it'd take me to? I mean, not that I know how fast I can fly, but how long would it take for me to get there and back? You're muted, so I don't even know what you're saying.
If it's flight 6 seconds, I feel like you could get there and back in a minute, surely.
Okay. Cool.
What's the distance between the two?
About 200 feet.
Okay. Vanessa will tell Whisper, "You go. I'll catch up."
You should be if you're dashing, or I suppose you're carrying someone, but like it's 60 feet a second flight, so very fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
short of complications, this is in no way something we need to turn into a maths game.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at these three of them. I go, we could just go in one journey.
Do you think you could carry the three of us at once?
Yes, I think I could carry the three of you in once. Yes.
I suppose none of us is particularly large,
No.
although we do have equipment with us and the like.
Well, I appreciate the show of strength. I will be all right.
Very well. Who's first, I guess?
Well, I think since this side of the water is almost certainly safer, it's best if I stay here to start with, in order to make sure I maintain my concentration and you don't fall. Whisper, perhaps it'd be best if you go first, since I know that you're particularly skilled at evading encounters or enemies that we might face. So if there was someone to be left on their own for even a handful of seconds, I think perhaps you would be the person to do so, if you don't mind. It really won't be very long, I promise.
Hey, and I'm just gonna do it like a glance at Grigori and just kind of get closer to Quinn. I also do have ways of getting over there if you would like a different method.
I'm all ears, but I just hadn't considered any other
You can't say that to a rabbit person.
I'm all ears.
Hey, I've got
well,
pointy
I do have a way of making a doorway to over on that island, or I think I could convince the water to move aside. Because I have dimension door and control water now.
You
So-
can only do one person with dimension door, can't you?
Yeah.
Sure.
You can only
Yeah.
take one person.
But either way, I could part the water.
I also have dimension door, which is why I was staying behind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to go over the water.
I mean,
Okay.
in
It's
context,
fine.
we should probably use one fly spell as
Yeah,
opposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
2 dimension doors.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dimension door is on my.
What the characters do? If the characters would
desired
rather
spell list,
pop
but,
over than fly over water, then we should do what? What do your characters want?
to expend minimal resources.
Before we get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't like going over the water, but so far my thing has been to go with the group. So it's 6 to 5 and pick 'em.
Vanessa has a similar issues with the water, so she would elect to go with you, Whisper, if you are offering.
It is
They
up
have
to
ways
you.
find themselves.
I could just part the water and we could walk across.
How
Unless you
much
think
water can
that
you
would
part?
leave us dangerous. Open to danger from the creature.
How much water can you part?
I can create a trench. And it's 300 feet is the range, so I can just Red Sea.
Go full on Moses on it, okay?
Yeah. At least as far as I'm reading it, I can post it for you
Which
guys. if
spell
you
is
wanna-
this?
Control water?
The range is 300 feet, but the target is any freestanding water inside an area you choose that is a cube
Yeah.
up to 100 feet on a side. So it might not be far enough.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll look at Quinn and just say perhaps we should just stick with your plan. It is fine. And I'll go over and stand next to Grigori. Just
Yes.
looking miserable. Just absolutely.
Make the person who most doesn't want to do this do it first.
Yep.
You gotta
Okay.
go first.
So, does Quentin cast a spell on Grigori?
Yes, he starts to motion and create symbols in the air with his hands. He waves a bird feather around whilst doing so, and is going to cast the fly spell. He touches onto, I was going to say shoulder, but I don't think he could reach Grigori's shoulder, and just says, "Inmovich Headfan," and casts the fly spell.
I kind of like test it a little bit. Kind of feel myself rising up and down. Comes very naturally, like. And I'll just kind of like move into Whisper and just kind of like scoop her up, like so she's kind of like sat there. Like, are you ready, little one?
Yes.
Your danger sense would be beyond tingling, Whisper.
Yep.
In fact,
I feel like I'm just
Whisper,
frozen.
Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You shit.
Less than 10, and you're going a bit far. You managed to steal yourself, but you're very afraid.
Yes.
And yeah, you fly over. For the sake of me not having to stutter descriptions, we're going to say that you're put down on the very, very shore edge, so you can all arrive at the location together once you've all been ferried over.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Quint is sort of concentrating on the spell, reciting it, he would just hear like something sort of like kind of creepy ethereal whisper behind him, and Vanessa steps into his shadow and then sort of comes up on the other side through the shadow of a nearby tree or bush.
You say
And,
she touches his neck.
Oh, no, she takes her glove off and feels the
Sucks him
pressure
right
of
off.
heat from the throbbing
Mhm.
glass in her hand.
And then
No.
Grigori scoops over Quint, presumably next.
Well, he arrives and Vanessa's already there, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, flying over, you see what's clearly the ruins of a keep. Yeah, but fly spells ticked off, dimension doors ticked off. And yes, we find ourselves over here.
Oh, it's exciting.
I look around, and I'm not quite as there's like, there's definitely a trepidation, and I kind of like hold out my sword and kind of concentrate for a minute, and just goes, and just see a crackle of lightning, just like a shimmer down the blade once, and then it's done.
Yeah, it's not this big drop-off island. It's the best I can do with a map. You can just freely walk up here to just slope the heads up to the keep.
What does it smell like here, Jim?
Make me a perception check.
Oh, fuck. I'm still too nervous, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I think your rolls are coming through private, except for me, by the way. Just checking. Same for Grigori
yeah, I'll
before.
change
I
it
did that
back.
one private. I did that on purpose, though. That last one.
Remind me why. And also, Grigori, can you make a perception check as well, separately?
Yeah.
Sure.
Whisper's concentrating.
And I'm
Yeah,
looking
why
around
am
for
I
the inside.
concentrating? I shouldn't be.
Be concentrating yourself.
You say perception check, a DM.
Yes, please.
And is anything pinging with my eyeballs?
No, I will tell you when your
Yes,
eyeballs
please do.
ping.
I would, yeah, they'll be much easier.
I'm gonna
That
start
is-
walking ahead.
Quite something, don't you think? Are you all right, not Vanessa? Whisper.
I absolutely hated that experience.
It's not an
And
ideal
would rather not
situation,
do that again, ever.
but flying above the trees and the water is it's quite exhilarating.
I will
Whisper,
leave flying to the birds.
you see a lit campfire crackling away.
I will turn back and just... I believe someone is already here. There's a fire. I will approach it slowly.
Should we be stealthy about this?
Should.
You see
Alright.
the steps recessed down around this campfire, which crackles away. You notice two things. Firstly, there is a sword wedged down in the campfire. And secondly, there is a blanket, 2 blankets in fact, laid out next to it, both of which seem to have wicker hampers on.
Must be where we save our progress. Do you see any figures?
Don't see anyone as of yet. There are 2 blankets.
Is this like stepped as it seems, like a
Mhm.
deliberate Colosseum-like fire pit?
Yeah.
Can I see what's down these stairs behind the tree?
Yeah, you just see steps heading down and the hint of a path that curves around a level lower than the campfire.
So I assume that this on to the north of us is like
Wall.
a building.
Yeah.
To the south, is this also?
A bit of a ledge, but Whisper disappears from sight. Whisper heads off down some stairs and
Okay.
disappears.
I wanted to
Just
do
trying
a
to look for the
perception-
people.
I wanted to do just like a quick perception check. I got a 12, but I wanted to take it on the well, see if I noticed anything inside.
You see after about 20 feet just rubble and collapse. You see brickwork coming off the side of a well. This has started to come apart at some point in time. You can see the bottom of it.
Okay.
DM, at the blankets, I want to see if there's any fey traps. Anything that I might identify.
That is why I had you roll that perception check.
Well, that's not for tracks, though. That would be survival.
Oh, actual tracks. Okay,
Yeah.
make a survival check.
Because I get advantage for that.
You find no tracks around here at all. No footprints of any kind. However,
It's tracking, so I suppose smells and stuff.
however, if I can finish, you can smell a bit of cinnamon.
If I see this table and then a doorway, I will just kind of walk back up here and say to Vanessa, "There's a doorway down here."
Did you see anyone or hear anything down there?
There's a
Behind it?
table with papers, but I have not opened the door yet. I will now. And
yeah.
then
This will follow.
I'll come back here, and go to this door, and I'm gonna listen at it first.
It's a heavy duty looking iron door. Make a perception check. While you're doing that, Grigori and Quint, in addition to the hint of cinnamon you can smell, Grigori, you can smell fresh cooked meat and breads, but also see a few things that are more like preserves that have been quite, even without going through the open hamper basket almost, you can just see from a nose that things seem to be quite hurriedly wrapped, some of them, in wax paper. It all smells and looks nice, but is hastily and shoddily packaged.
Can I see if I know what type, if the cinnamon is relating to a particular type of fae?
You would know that's just a bit of a generic thing that
Okay.
you've relied on before. You've seen a few different types have
Okay.
these sweet scents.
What kind of sword is in the fire?
Looks to be a longsword, and it's just stuck down into all of the embers and the coals.
Is the fire actively burning?
Yes.
If I were to reach out and hover my hand near the hilt, for example, does the hilt seem hot enough that I could, or not, that I could grab it without burning myself?
It would hurt, yes. It looks to be a hot sword. You hear nothing coming from behind the door. Whisper.
What do these papers say?
Difficult to tell. They are tatters. They have clearly been rained on so much that we're at a point now where the paper is almost like adhering to the rotten remains of the table. The telescope next to it looks shattered and rusted. These are ruined items here. Yeah, if I didn't say it, I can't remember if Jack started speaking first. You hear nothing beyond the door whisper.
I'll try and open it.
It is locked.
Sorry about that. My headphones ran out and the lead would not stay in, so they kept going on and off. So it's going into the lead. Okay. What did I miss?
Just but this is all ruined and the door is locked.
Quint, are you... Do I remember if you're able to open doors?
I can certainly try. I have some tools that might assist. And he will pull his picks out of his backpack and go to town on the door.
Even as you're doing so, you notice that the shape of the keyhole is unusual here. And there are several sort of plates around the keyhole itself. It seems like a complex mechanism.
Okay. It looks like it might be difficult, but I don't have any magic prepared that might assist me. I don't suppose either of you have anything for such an occasion?
Inez looks up at
I do not
Grigori.
think so.
What does this door look like? Just a normal door?
No, a very heavy-duty, old iron and brass banded door with an unusual looking lock on it.
I will put my sword into my thing and I'll tell Quint to move to one side. As I scrub my foot at the back and kind of like get ready. And I'm just going to try and shoulder barge straight into this ruin.
Uh-oh. Into this
I love how he ran himself up.
I'm presuming strength check
Yep.
or athletics, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Ooh,
Ooh.
that wasn't great.
It looked like it would be rusted and more damaged than it is, but yeah, you just bang into it and fail to go through.
I am
Nest,
out of magic.
did you happen to find any alchemical manifests?
Nothing that was legible, unfortunately. This place is. Well, these ruins have been here for a long time. These documents as well.
GM, can I check inside this bag? And also, I'd love to see where the telescope is pointed.
The telescope is on the floor. Which bag are you wanting to look through?
Like right here next to the table?
Oh, there's not a satchel there. I say nothing there. So everything
okay.
there
Okay.
is gone or ruined.
Okay, I just wanted to see in what direction this telescope is pointed.
There's like an arrow. What looks like an arrow slit in the hole at some
Like
point.
if I
It looks
look
like it
at
was
it,
just
like
yeah, it looks like it's facing to the southeast in the direction of Victal.
okay.
This is enclosed by a roof, presumably, right?
No,
Oh, it's not?
no.
Oh,
This
well,
this section here is not. It's open.
Oh, no, the thing behind the door.
As in, we can't just climb over the wall.
You could.
Okay. Well, yeah, Vanessa's just going to start spider climbing.
Yeah. And you see when you get over it that it's heavy set into the wall, but on the other side there's just a bare,
There's a bear?
dingy, shaded segment of earth and steps heading further down.
How high's the wall?
About 15 feet.
I crouch and jump up on top of the wall.
From on top of a wall, I would tell you, both Vanessa and Grigori, that you see there is another tree to the north of the bonfire, and what looked like it was part of a building may have just been a wall into like another sort of garden area. You see in here like a bit of a running water aqueduct, and you see a fairly large stone building with holes in the roof. It's lacking more roof than it has, but you see that there is a building and grounds to the north. But yeah, you also see a set of stairs, stone stairs heading further down to New Londo. I mean, to who knows where.
When Grigori suddenly pops up next to her, Vanessa will just sort of look at him and go, oh, didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know that you could climb up a wall like that.
Well, I guess we're both learning things about each other.
Indeed we are. Ladies
then, yeah.
first, you seem extremely keen.
Thank you. I am. And she scuttles down the side of the wall.
I'll kind of like crouch down and like hold my hand down if either of these two want pulling up.
Sure.
Kind of like hold down to Quint first, lean down, and you'll have to kind of like jump and scrab a little bit. And as soon as I kind of like latch on, it's like, then same for Whisper. But like as like I grab Whisper, I kind of like just give her a little look like before I pull her up, kind of sensing that she's uncomfortable around me.
Well, is Whisper gonna go over? Is she gonna?
Well, she moved. I saw the token move forward, so I presumed she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if everyone is going that way, I'll absolutely come along.
Yeah. So on the other side, you see steps leading down into darkness. They continue going underground until they're leading north, heading down for about 40 foot. You see ahead of you before it opens up into a very large pair of iron doors that you see have multiple bars barring it from the outside.
Like the kind of bars you put in place that like lift in to
Mm-hmm.
lock a door. But on the side we're in?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Are they trying to prevent something, or were they trying to prevent something coming through in this direction?
Perhaps there is something beyond this door that we do not want
Well, we're
to
heading
come
down.
across.
Are we heading into a basement or down into a cave or to near the water, perhaps?
Maybe a dungeon.
It could be the cave in which the creature resides.
I walk over and put my shoulders under, embrace myself under one of the things. Like, well, we can
are we
talk about it, or we
wanting-
can find out.
Are we wanting to continue this way? Our goal was to find manifests and books. I feel like
It's not our goal, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
We don't know that there aren't manifests or books or any other instruments down here that might be useful.
and I'll step back so that Grigori can do whatever it is he's about to do.
Grigori does Grigori things. And yeah, I will start trying to lift.
Yeah, you can do it without a check. There are 3 heavy bars across the door. They can each be lifted out and go heavily to the floor. And then the large iron doors can be pulled open. And you see, or pushed inward rather. You can see inside a wide stone hallway that stretches ahead, and the floor littered with skeletons. And we will take a 10-minute break.
Dun dun dun.
So doors open, and yeah, you see a large, wide stone hallway heading into the north, and yeah, the ground is littered with skeletons, but you see are very much up near and crowded around the doors you just opened. There's a degree of pushing them aside a little bit as the doors open.
Are the skeletons humanoid?
They look to be.
Whatever was in here, clearly, or perhaps is in here, is clearly not good.
Not
Perhaps we
necessarily.
should leave it be.
Perhaps they all died where they lay and simply rotted. Do the bodies look intact, or do they like scattered bones?
Scattered bones.
Does this area go much deeper, like a passage, or
It goes as
a
far as you
wider
can
area?
see. You see some doorways off to the side.
What will it be? Do we stand around, do nothing?
I do not think we should continue down that way.
Well, at the very least, I do think it's unlikely that this is where we'd find our goal, so perhaps we should check in the main building first.
Perhaps.
There could
I
be
could also
hidden-
try to scout ahead.
It's true. If you think that's wise.
I will say, for the purposes of my sanity as DM juggling scenes, you're either in here or you're out of here. We're not standing outside, drone operating in. Because otherwise I'll lose my mind.
I'm not a drone, I'm a person. No, my out of character, my plan was just to scale the ceiling and look around. But if you don't want to do that, we don't have to.
This is a threshold that I would like us to go over or not, just for to make it a remotely manageable task.
All right, so I will. What's the word? Recant, rescind, rescind my invitation to scout ahead. Retract.
Well, then perhaps we explore the rest of the keep.
Indeed. I do think that perhaps it would be wise for us to rebar the door before we leave,
I agree.
just in case.
And I guess I kind of like pushed them to the crack open, so I'm just going to kind of like hold on to the things and going back in and one man in mod.
The doors are resealed. Do you head back over your wall?
That
Yes,
we
sir.
do.
Oh, I have suddenly appeared.
Yeah, just We had a means of getting over.
Well, I imagine Grigori just threw you over.
Yeet!
Cabotas.
Yeah.
Little yeet.
Keep your eyes and ears open. There are Fae about. This much I know.
How do you know this?
I can smell them.
Can I try and smell again, Jim?
Sure. Make a perception check.
Upon him mentioning this?
Make a smell check.
I kind of like look to her. If she's going.
Yeah. Smells like grass meat and water. A little bit of... You saw some like muddy banks around here. Very slight sort of estuary almost smell coming up. And the smell of, burning wood. A little bit of meat. You saw that there were a couple of nice looking, what looked to be almost ham hocks in these unattended, uninvestigated open top hampers. Yeah, that's it. Quint, you see a few steps going up to and this is another iron door, but it looks to be in not nearly as sturdy as the other.
Have we just brazenly ignored some stuff that you just mentioned?
Whatever, there was a couple of picnics that had been laid out on a couple of blankets next to the bonfire, which you and Grigori had a cursory glance at, but no one's touched.
But there is food there.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't want any of that Fae food? So I missed before because it was when my headphones went off and it was the last straw. What was the deal with the sword in the fire?
There's a sword stuck down to the fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I'm gonna peer over into the well.
Again, as Jack saw when you arrived, it's caved in after about 15 feet.
Okay.
That was like the first thing you said when you got here. Yeah,
it's literally been going on and off my phone.
After about 15 foot, you can see the stones on the side have all caved in. This is not a well anymore.
Okay. I will just try and shoulder to it.
Oh my god. He goes.
And this is all. So this is open top. Yeah, we're in the courtyard. Okay. Keeping my eyes up to the rooftops.
Yeah.
Can we hear those birds? It seems like
You
it's not
do.
like okay.
And you see a couple of slightly sagging, what were probably grand wooden carved doors here, but are now quite faded and peeling, and then another iron door to your right. Quint, you just see off into Lake Krodov.
About what time of day is it? What time of day is it?
I'd say it's mid-afternoon now, yeah.
Right. I'm gonna try and hear at this door, or listen rather.
Make me a perception check. You just hear the fairly heavy sound of fast-moving water. It's clearly some sort of water feature or waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about looking for plants. Do any of these things look like what we were looking for, or that we might have spotted on the way through the Motherwood?
They do not match the descriptions of the plants you've been described, but obviously you may care to investigate them further if you have suspicions. Vanessa, you just hear that running water. And you find yourself in a bit of a courtyard area with a bit of an outflow coming into a pool that has some rushes in and a very large lily.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and turn the corner, see if there's anything down here.
You see an iron grate door at the end. Still nothing overhead. Your open skies.
Sky. Well, I see some kind of parlor down here. See some chairs at least, possibly a table.
Okay, I'll tell you when you see any sign of roof. But this all... You see hints to see there's been, like, burnt rafters at some point. There has been a roof here at some point, but it's now ruined. Grigori, as you step through into the courtyard, you notice a... you might not be familiar with the intimate details of its use, but you would know that this is a plant that you've seen herbalists sort of haggle and seek before. You would know it is a fairly rare herb. Well, plant.
Okay.
The
Rapid
lily?
rapid.
And he doesn't give a shit.
Okay. I mean, if I identify being
Mhm.
rare and they don't grow many places, yeah. As I look at it, for anybody else, I mean, I guess there's only Whisper that's here at the moment. You will see it suddenly lift up from the floor and start coming over towards me. If that's all right, DM.
Mm-hmm.
It's not attached to anything like roots or anything.
Well, it is, but they'd come off quite... It's a lily.
Sure,
It'd come
yeah.
off quite easily,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I just kind of like hold my hand out, and it kind of like floats over to my hand.
When it starts moving, I'll crouch, but then see that you're holding your hand out.
Mm-hmm. And I look it over. Doesn't smell of cinnamon or anything, does it, DM?
No.
Okay. A rare find indeed. Even if we don't find the books you're looking for, or whatever it was. Not a trip wasted. The Weaver's Water Lily. Very useful.
What is it used for?
Absolutely no idea. But very useful apparently, and very rare, and so as far as I know, good for trade. And I'll put it in like a little
Yeah.
knapsack or whatever I've got, a
Add-
little forager's bag.
I've added Weaver's Water Lily to your inventory.
If we are to be heading back to Cassandra, I'm sure she will have some use for it.
Does the water smell clean?
Yeah. And you saw there were rushes growing in it, and other plant life, and yeah, it doesn't look to be overly mucked. It just looks like rainwater that's been running over dirt and rubble.
This grate over here, can it be opened like a gate, or does it have
The
to be
door.
lifted?
Oh, I see what you say.
great.
Yeah, it's a swing open door.
Okay. I'll use my mage hand to open it then.
Yeah. It is locked.
Oh, I
Did you already have your mage hand out? I've not seen it ever before.
don't think you have.
Yeah, okay. I see it appearing.
And it looks kind of like it just looks like her shadow's extending over, and like her shadowy hand is doing it.
I nod.
Does anyone have any? Quint, do you have your lockpicks? Can you attempt?
Of
Or
course.
I can try if it's easier.
Why don't you give it a go, since I'd rather not get my feet wet unless we're sure that we can advance.
Yeah, then she'll have the mage hand take the lockpicks, and I'll roll. And that's just a dex check, right?
Yeah.
Dex and proficiency.
You
Yeah,
climbing
you
in the
are.
wall? Oh, are you trying to pick it with the mage hand?
Well, I mage hand, yeah.
And like you can
And-
see that at this point it's inches deep, the water. You could step
Oh.
to.
So that's 12 plus 3, so 15 total.
You hear the lock spring.
There we have it. And she'll have the hand give Quint back his tools.
You start to arrive in the ruins of building proper. I'm going to clear the chat out for lag.
This furniture is peculiar. Does this look like anything you're familiar with, Grigori?
We'll say it's maybe sort of different upholstery to what you're familiar with, but it isn't anachronistic furniture. It's a limitation of the map.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, there's not a TV in the corner.
All right. So I don't know anymore. You keep playing these mind games on us.
Yeah, so there's a Nokia 3210 on the table, and you
That's what's caused all this destruction. It fell onto the castle.
Oh, people! I love it when people split up and go wandering around. Makes me very happy.
I will kind of like look over these. Is this cloak rack in the corner?
No. There's very little here. So there's not the things that suggest that people have just been here. There's no like playing cards out on tables or clothing.
Perhaps
Shelves are. Yeah, but everyone goes to different rooms at once and starts asking things. The furniture is rain-ruined and sagging. You see, Quint, for example, this bookshelf is almost some very nicely binded piles of pulp, for the most part. The furniture is sodden and patchy. This is a complete ruin. Anything you can see here that looks to be intact, we'll say, is a very, very neglected, version of it.
If you've got anything that you're after, best be hoping that it's not out in the open like all this.
I look, there's a porcelain bog.
It's the only thing intact.
Can I open this door?
It is underneath. Like there's rubble piled either side of that door.
Understood.
But you would know from how you came in, you would have seen there was another entrance into that room.
Hmm.
Vanessa, from where you are, you notice that the bottle on the floor appears to be full and sealed still.
Does it say Coors Light or what?
It does not.
Ugh, you
What does it say?
homophobe.
You've what? So
You homophobe. Why do you hate the LGBTQ IA plus community, Harrison?
Coors Light.
Coors Light. Oh yeah, because they're just all like, oh, we hate Budweiser, and then we hate Coors Light now, and now we hate every drink that's made in America because you don't know any of this.
No.
Oh, they did a big LGBT thing with like rainbows on the cans. Anyway.
Okay. Looking at the bottle, Vanessa, you see that it says Kazile Select Whiskey.
Yeah, she'll pick it up and see Grigori and Quint standing on the other side, and she'll show it off to Grigori. Does this look like a brand that you're familiar with? A distillery?
Nothing that I've seen before. Though I wouldn't eat or drink anything from this place either.
No, well, perhaps we'll save it for later, and she'll put it into her bag.
More for you.
Gee, am I right in assuming that any paper on these tables is ineligible?
Yeah. What about you, Quint? What are you doing?
He's gonna take a shit in the toilet. Is this just a normally adorned bathhouse for the most part?
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be anything of particular interest to Quentin there.
I'm gonna take a little sniff and a look around, see if my face sense is tingling.
With a roll you made before, I'll tell you if it triggers.
Okay, cool.
While we're in this area.
Sure.
The cinnamon golem strikes with war.
Could I attempt to search these shelves for anything that's remained untouched by weather or elements?
Make an investigation check. Seems nothing. You find a couple of silver pieces, 4 silver, sort of, that's slipped down the back of the shelf at some point but been caught. But yeah, everything else is beyond use.
Take the 4 silver then.
Any interest or use of these herbs here? These plants?
They seem to be very nice lilacs.
Oh, very nice.
What's Vanessa thinking?
Oh, I was on mute. No, I wasn't. Okay, sorry. I think she's wondering what the hell's going on here, but there's just because I'm conditioned to ask. There's nothing here, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think she'll step out into this garden area, and this is like walled over here, or
from here, you to the north of the map, you just see it very quickly reaches a slight drop off from the shoreline down to the river. There is very little on this island other than this building and whatever's beneath it.
Got it.
You are all aware that you have lost sight of some of your party.
What is this hexagon over here?
Quiet, you.
What is this hexagon over here?
Those are the maps, so you can gauge what's on a gridless map. Yeah. These are a mad cartographer thing.
Oh, well.
Just to say what's a 5-foot square or hex.
Interesting choice.
Quint, stepping into this large chamber, it looks as described here, except on the table there is a very clear, like spread out, unfolded piece of paper, a letter at the edge of the table.
Quint loves to unfurl a piece of paper, so he will.
Yeah, and you see there is a rather faded but still legible letter that has just been left out on this table. I have added it to your inventory. It is called Aged Letter.
It says, "Do you still like me? Yes or no?" From Mother.
It looks like a letter. And he will read it aloud. It says, "Relson, I hope this finds you well, and the messenger bird arrived without issue. I am heartened to hear that you are all thriving, but am sorry to hear that your crops have not settled in how you would like. I cannot even imagine trying to feed that many people without the bosom. I received your list of desired provisions and will try my best to help how I can. The medicine for your livestock I can certainly try, though if they're not eating at all, we both know what that means. That's not a good sign. I can also spare a couple of bags of grain, but I daren't send more than that. I appreciate Edvin is hard at work down in the underhall, but the alchemical supplies I simply can't muster. Mother came to us week before last. She actually wept with worry about what could happen to you all over there away from her protection. I've never seen her cry before, Relson. Are you really sure this is the right thing to be doing for yourselves? I will have one of my boys boat over what I can, but this needs to be the last time. I'm sorry. Stop this madness and come home. Your friend, Amanthel."
Do any of
And
those
if that's
names...
being read outside, none of those names ring a bell to you.
Grigori, you've met the mother?
I have not, no. It is typically only Mother's minders who are said to speak with her directly.
We heard that she she would set foot in town for the harvest festival and such things. So I was curious.
Oh, is
I
it?
felt like you'd have seen her from
Okay.
afar, yeah.
Sure, okay. I've seen her, but I have never been introduced or met with her.
Honestly, I had assumed that she was not of the mortal realm, but it appears that she walks among common folk occasionally.
She does. It is not often. She is not typically seen, but she is indeed most beautiful.
Glorious.
She is distinct in her appearance, almost ethereal looking, a glowing spirit in robes. And so, what she is indeed not a person as you or I. She is the mother.
And you are one of Mother's chosen.
I am.
Mm. Quint, deep in thought.
Jim, is there anything interesting out in this little courtyard?
It looks like it was once like a little sitting or breakfast area. You see there are planters along both walls, but they have just succumbed to weeds now. They are a choke of brambles.
Is there anything on this bookshelf that I'm over?
Quint's already inspected that bookshelf. It
Okay.
is ruined, and then Whisper went and gave a comprehensive search of it and found 4 silver.
Anything with these statues over here that I'm looking at?
Nothing remarkable. They look to be just like typical carvings of unusually long arms that are just signifying like a welcome. But yeah, they are partially damaged by the cave-in that's happened at some point above.
Oh, peekaboo.
Oh.
There seems to be little of this keep. Does not appear that we're going to find what you were looking for here.
I can only imagine that it's probably this place that we didn't want to go in the first place. Unless
Perhaps.
something turns up.
Or perhaps it was here and has suffered the same fate as all the other rot.
That could also be true.
Jim, I'm looking through all these rooms I'm going through. I assume it's all in the same state of...
Yeah.
Disrepair. This last room appears to be a kitchen. Servants' quarters and preparation areas next to the main hall.
You would see in here, right next to the door when you come in, there is like a rotten wooden plaque on the wall. And on the floor in front of it, there is a little iron hook that has fallen off at some point due to the rot. And looped around that iron hook, there is a brass key on a ring.
Vanessa will use her mage hand to pick it up.
Yeah. It is a weathered brass key.
Oh.
How large is it? Does it look like that strange lock on that door?
It is a little
Or does
larger than, slightly larger than usual. You saw that door had a lot of brass on it, and particularly around the lock.
Any mysterious chests?
No.
Okay. Well, it certainly looks like a ruin.
I'm just kind of sat on the steps, waiting for everybody.
Despite his fearsome appearance, Quint defaults to standing relatively near Grigori because feels protected.
You have a blade on your. Have you got your blade out, or is it just on your hip?
2 on my left hip.
I kind of give him a little tap.
You're good with those.
Yes, fairly so. I mean, I'm self-taught, but I've proven myself with these two from in the place that we were before. I'd never really thought much in reality before that, but turns out the training paid off.
I'll be interested to see it in action.
Indeed.
What are their names?
Our names they are merely.
You all feel a slight tremor for a moment. A couple of loose bits of stone fall from the wall.
Does it feel like from above or like
stops.
underneath?
Underneath. And then it just stops.
I stand up and kind of look at the steps, just instinctively moving away from wherever I was stood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looks like something was woken up down there.
And it knows that we're here.
And we know it's here. So it is even.
We should at least check out that door with and she'll present the key. See what's behind it at least.
We climbed over the wall. That's what was behind it.
Oh wait, was that what it was?
Yeah, we just got to that bit before we found the key, basically.
Got it. Okay.
You redacting that?
I'm reverberating it. Yeah.
What's behind this door?
It's me, Vanessa! So are we heading back down those stairs?
Yeah.
Can I tell anything about the flag that's hanging here?
A tattered, ruined cloth.
Yeah, but colors, insignia, anything left?
Bleached white.
Okay.
Just with weather and age. So yeah, heading down.
And these are just like benches here, right?
Yep, stone benches.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so heading down the steps, you come to those triple barred doors once again.
Are you gonna super speed us to wherever that is?
Oh, we're lost him.
Well, going in would involve a scene change, so I may as well talk it through and then change the scene.
Cool. Just means I don't need to move my token around.
Yeah, no. So yeah, the doors open, and you see this large hallway with skeletons lit on the floor. Are we going in? What is the plan?
Of course we're going in.
Yeah, I'm already walking in.
Did that iron key turn out to be the key to that gate?
Yes.
What was on the other side of it?
Whoever went over first.
Vanessa would probably still climb over the wall. She'd climb over the wall and unlock it from the other side.
Yeah, just we got to use it at least. Make sure.
Stepping in, you observe that there are a couple of large, heavy, broken stone things on the floor, on and around the skeletons. I feel like after a couple of seconds, anyone who's ever been any sort of spelunking or grave robbing would notice that, would recognize that these are the stone lids of sarcophagi. And they're here against the wall. Make me an intelligence check, everybody.
My time. Ah. Ooh,
Ooh, finesse.
the investigator.
Does mine not come through?
No.
When I went to roll, it said I'm not on or something. 1 second, let's try it again. Oh, I rolled initiative and not that's fine. Idiot, Gregory.
Finesse, with your deductive abilities, you peek at the back of one of the doors, and you see that it seems very likely, based on the skeletons and the damage here, that these sarcophagi lids were broken in an attempt to try and batter and ram these doors open at some point from the inside. You're muted.
Yes, I relay that to the others.
Yeah. And as you're doing so, there's a sudden rush of air as the doors slam shut with you inside. And you hear as down the corridor, torches go
On or off?
on.
Oh, I don't know which is worse.
I don't know. It seemed pretty dark to me.
Yeah, some blue sconces burn periodically down the corridor, but otherwise this place is pitch black.
But bright enough that we can see with our dark vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
It is all configured correctly, vision-wise, for your characters. Vanessa's tearing off like a whippet. And you see this stretches in. There are a number of pillars, some of which are broken, alcoves, obviously huge amounts of rubble everywhere, and you would see Grigori being at the lead, some large rake claw marks in parts of the floor.
How large?
Each one is about as long as your arm.
Okay.
I imagine the torches and sconces are magic, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
You all hear a... and the ground all heaves slightly again, just for a moment, and you hear like of stonework and dust falling. Grigori, you start to see around the corner just a huge sinkhole.
Kind of climb over this kind of big ceiling block, and I'll peer down into the hole.
Make me a perception check. You're looking down, trying to gauge how far down this goes. And as you're sort of looking, when I say leaning, you're obviously in the very, my feet are secure. It's a very cautious, it isn't a tip forward like Michael Jackson over the edge. As you're looking down, there is a moment and you suddenly feel like a slight rush of air down there. But as you try to focus on that, something leaps fully out of the pit. Huge. It sails straight over you. An impressive degree. Everybody else just sees this mass fly over and land heavily on the floor behind you with a huge foot, an enormous creature covered in dark purple plate with large crystal-like protrusions coming from it. It lands with an enormous smash on the floor, casting stonework aside, and I want everyone to roll initiative.
Does
Where
it have
is-
a cartoon-like quality to it? Do you?
Where is Quint?
I'm right next to it.
Sorry, where's Whisper, rather?
To the south, by the
I'm
door.
still back at the entrance. I was eyeing
Talking about
a door that everyone just, I guess, walked by.
Okay. So you just hear this crash whisper as everybody lands. As she lands. It does not have a cartoon-like quality to it. It's just a nice piece of art. Surprisingly, for such an old creature, I found the art for Ballettes was the old art that's stock art, or terrible. So yeah, let's all please roll initiative.
Oh, he was truly surprised by that
Yeah.
occurrence.
Did it not take my roll?
Nope, you haven't rolled yet according to this. I don't see it in the chat either.
Oh dear.
Okay. Quint,
Grand bullet.
you are up.
Yep. Quint will shriek a little. Ah! And then he will try and very quickly steady himself, entering his Blade Song somewhat meditative state. And then, in his panic, he's going to immediately blast this creature with Rowlathim's Psychic Lance.
Mmm. It has not prompted me yet, so I presume it's doing it auto in a minute. It fails.
And with that, Quint is going to back up significantly. To there, that'll do.
Incapacitated. Nice.
Yeah. It just takes this reeling shock to the head, and it just stood there. Anything else from you, Quint?
No, I think I'll stay there for now.
The creature remains just still for a moment. Vanessa, you're up. So you said it was start of your next, not its next, wasn't it? Yeah.
Start of Quint's next turn.
Yep. Cool. Vanessa.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna beat this thing up, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel a little bit bad. It hasn't attacked us yet. But nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and mage armor up because I don't know what's gonna come, and I will use a sorcery point to cast. Let's see here. What's my range on this? I'm 5 feet away from it, or 10 feet.
You are 5 feet away from it. Oh, sorry, yeah, 10 feet away from it. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move away a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast.
Vanessa,
Frostbite.
as you step over this pile of rubble, it gives slightly underfoot. Can you please make me a DC 15 Dex saving throw?
All right. Let's go.
You feel it start to slip away. The rock just begins to sink down into a hole, and you just twist and manage to not go down with it. As you were.
Yeah, I imagine like I brace myself too with one of my hands, and it's sort of like spider climb attaches it, keep me there. But I'm gonna go ahead and cast Chill Touch on it. Yes. I just have to target it first. That's what I'm trying to do.
Somehow misses.
Do I get advantage on that because it's incapacitated?
Sadly, no.
Anything else from you, Vanessa?
No.
Whisper, you're up. Gregory, you're next.
All right. On
So
myself,
yeah, down the corridor,
I am,
you just see Whisper.
I'm just gonna hurry and touch my shoulder and cast Shield of Faith on myself. And then I am going to run up here so I can try and get a better view, and then untarget myself, and then Sacred Flame at that thing. Oh, Shield of Faith didn't give me a +2 to AC.
Did it give it the left?
No, it did not. Yeah, it fails. The flames licked it. Is that all from you, Whisper?
Yeah, could you manually update my AC to be 19?
No, we'll just remember it's 19. Because if we manually change it, we'll forget in the future. So you're now 19. Grigori, you're up. Quint, you're next.
Okay. As I was opening my spell sheet, my character sheet, I noticed that you haven't given me any armor. So I will sort that out in the next before its turn. So I'm gonna move in, and I am obviously going to attack it with my sword, which you're all about to see the name of my sword.
Mm. The big bad wolf. Oh, what a noise.
So damage, it will also be plus 1d6 of lightning.
Is that the amount that you... Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I re-roll the 1 because I've got great weapon.
I think it does it automatically, I think, when you get it. But do you have to take a second one if you get a second one?
Say again?
With great weapon, is it a case of if you roll, you have to take the result of it? Because I feel like you've got it ticked, it might do it automatically.
It's not done. It's got a 1, 5, and a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and the 3 is from the extra d6, so it should be 13 damage. 3 of that is lightning damage.
Cool, that's fine.
And then I shall make my second attack.
I would give you... Sorry, I realise. As you come in with this, you feel like that lightning damage is seeping into it, but the actual swing of your sword all but bounces off that big slash and blow. You feel like you haven't cut this in the slightest, but the magic surrounding the weapon has affected it.
It's just a Zeme all over again, this. Okay. Everything I fucking fight has resistance to me fighting it.
I want to say the DM has it out for you, but
oh, that did the same. So I roll another one, another d6 again. Crit damage on that. So that would be, yeah.
Yep. So that again, that extra damage seeps into it. Anything else from you?
Yeah, I moved. I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Obviously, you see its eye follow you, but the arm just can't move.
I'm gonna kind of like back up onto this rubble here. Actually, no, I'm not, because I saw Viness take a bit of a tumble on the rubble, so I'm gonna stand here, waiting for it while I quickly look at what armor I can have.
Okay, Quint, it's you.
So Grigori's backed away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering him joining him in the fray. I will. I'm just gonna pull out the crossbow, shoot it with a crossbow, and follow that up with a firebolt.
It hits just between two of the points on the plates you see this creature's covered in.
Does the bolt clink off?
No, it managed to just catch between two plates and does seem to sink in.
Oh, okay. And then with his spare hand, he's going to try and... Whoops, not fireball. Fling a firebolt.
Hits.
And then he'll probably back up a little, just a tiny bit. That's it.
Okay, the creature's turn.
Can you give me some scale mail armor, DM?
Yep, 1 second.
Not sure which compendium it's in.
Items. scale mail armor is in your inventory. Right-clicked, equipped. There you go.
Thank you very much.
So, the creature, sort of shaken off that torpor that had been it for a moment, turns, this bolt sticking out from it, its eyes fix on you, Quint. You see it just... and it blasts off from the floor, sailing clear over Grigori.
Uh-oh.
In a... Oh, it hasn't done it how I wanted it to. Let's have a look. That should have auto-targeted. Let's have a look. And it will land here. I require both Quint and Whisper to make me DC 16 dexterity saving throws, please. Fantastic. You both take... Let's have a look. Let me just move them up and see if I can just target you both to make this do the damage to you. Let's see if it prompts. Has it prompt a save from you?
Yes.
So obviously if you pass... So it's 34 damage.
Oh crap! I'm supposed to
What
roll
on
that with.
earth was that you just did, Quint? Minus 85.
I clicked the auto fail, but I was too late. It had already auto rolled for me.
Okay, so yeah, you both take a total of 34 damage. Do either of you resist bludgeoning or slashing at the moment?
I wish.
Then just make sure your HP is reduced by a total of 34, and you are both knocked prone. The creature looms over you both, and it is then going to... It sort of stamps both paws into the ground and seems to clench, and you see the plates of armor on it just almost tighten up a little bit as it bulks up.
I don't know why it did a second concentration saving throw.
Okay, you were at
but
full health,
I
weren't you?
succeeded.
Let's put you to full health.
Minus 34 is 11. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't know why it prompted a second concentration.
Okay.
Because I succeeded on the first one.
Okay, so yeah, that's all it can do. That is its turn. Vanessa, it's you. You see both Whisper and Quint vanish beneath the bulk of this thing.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna use some movement to get up there. I don't want to get too close to Grigori because I don't want to cluster up. But I will go ahead and You both look really bad, right?
Yeah, they do.
Oof. Okay. It's only gonna be able to help one of you, so good luck. But Vanessa will extend her hand, and she's gonna go ahead and cast a spell that I'm trying to click right now.
And that spell is
And that spell is
from the School of Necromancy.
from the School of Necromancy.
That was actually nice.
Cast Wither and Bloom. I'm gonna give this to Whisper just because she has healing and she can heal other people. So, oh my god, that's terrible. That's fucking awful. Okay. Yeah, so make a constitution. This thing succeeds on a 15? Jesus.
I don't know what's going on. It keeps asking me.
Yeah, I don't know either.
What you're saying here? It's succeeded.
Saying
Is your spell DC only 14 still by this level?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay,
I like
yeah,
this.
right, then it succeeds. Do they gain any
Can
form
I
of heal?
can I use my inspiration to reroll, or to force him to reroll?
Go on.
I'm
Should I have him make the
rebuking
roll again?
him. Yeah.
What roll was it needs to make? Con.
Needs to make con save. DC 14.
Even better. Take off that inspiration.
Okay. So no inspiration for me, but at least Whisper, you will get. You can. So you can spend and roll one of your unspent hit dice to regain a number of hit points equal to the roll plus your spell casting ability of modifier. So you get at least a minimum of spell casting modifier 6. So 6 hit points plus whatever hit dice you want to spend.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use my another sorcery point, and I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver on it. This thing can't be terribly smart, can it? Oh my god, I'm rolling
Is Wither and Bloom a bonus, yeah?
No, but I'm using my spell.
Oh, yeah.
Quicken spell. Get out.
Its save hasn't appeared for me on that.
I mean, it rolled in that 20, and then it got
No, it's
knocked over
Quint.
by Whisper.
Quint got a nat 20.
Oh.
Did you cast it on Quint instead?
No, I cast it on the bullet, I thought.
No, the bullet hasn't. Oh, there we go. Let's have a look. It took some damage, but I don't see a saving throw from it.
It says failed 4.
Oh, cool. Okay, I don't see that, but I will
I don't
believe
see it
it.
either. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, further up.
I
Mind
see
Sliver.
it
There
now.
we go.
Yeah.
I see.
Got it.
Cool, yeah, it's failed.
So that's 6 psychic, and then it has it's -3 on its next saving throw.
Okay. Anything else from you, Vanessa?
No, that's it.
Whisper, you're up. You're prone.
All right. I am going to. If we're both under this thing,
Mm-hmm.
can I reach out a hand and touch Quint? I don't know
Sure.
why I'm still
you're,
so
you're,
far out.
You're
over this.
adjacent to. So for spellcasting purposes, for targeting purposes, I dragged you out. Yeah, you are
Okay.
side by side with them.
All right, then I would like to somehow untarget everyone and then just target Quint. And
Shall I move it just for a moment? There you go. So you are both. It's one tile lower. You are both. So you are there, and it is on top of both of you.
yeah, okay. And I am just gonna reach out and touch him and cast Cure Wounds. And then attempt to just kind of army crawl out from under this thing.
So you're looking just to move
Drag my ass out from
next
under
to
him.
it. So yeah, yep. So we can say you're there. It's there, effectively.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for me.
Okay, Grigori, you're up. You see your two new companions disappear underneath this thing, and then some shimmying.
So when I attacked it before,
Mm-hmm.
did it seem like it was doing no damage, or it was absorbing some of the damage?
So the sword was doing nothing, but the magic on it absolutely was doing something.
Okay. Then I'm gonna come in and make an attack, and just kind of like looking for an open spot. I'm gonna do a normal attack first. Okay, so I'm gonna do damage with my +1d6. So that was 6 on the lightning damage, and the other 2 do nothing. However, I'm going to, as a reaction, I'm going to do an amplified curse of exposure.
Okay.
So I'll take my 1d6 damage. Nice. Fuck. Okay, so that takes me down to 46. Oh, why is that doing that? Configure how you would like to use Brand of Castigation. Okay. Don't know what that's done, but sure. Why did it do that? Did it do that automatically then? 'Cause I didn't click that. Well, as a bonus action, I was going to be doing Brand of Castigation anyway, so that's fine. So now, with my Amplify, this is no longer invulnerable to my attacks, to my slashing attacks, but has resistance to the damage instead, until the end of its next turn.
So what, the invulnerability has now been downgraded to a resistance?
Resistance, yeah, until the end of its next turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you do strike in, and that extra magic seeps into it, it shudders and gives a roar. I require everyone. Oh dear, hold on. I've deleted that because it has, for range, has done things that it shouldn't have. Let me just prevent all manner of things coming up in my combat log.
Okay, so 2 things. Because I've just done that, it includes the attack that I've just done, and I rolled a 2 on both of them, so I get to re-roll both those damage on that for slash attack.
Go on then. We need to macro that.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. So I'll just do it as a normal attack again, because it was doing both of them, fortunately.
Yeah.
So that's just normal without the lightning. The lightning's already applied. Okay. No. Okay.
Cool.
And now for my second attack.
Well, as you've hit
right,
it,
okay, sure.
it reacts because it hit the trigger for it. As the blood starts to come from some of the gaps between its plates, and you become convinced that this thing is probably bloodied, it issues this huge roar that echoes off all the halls. I need everyone to make me a DC 16 wisdom saving throw, please. As just the sheer volume of this thing comes bursting out. Anyone who fails this will be frightened of the creature for 1 minute, but they can repeat the save at the end of each of their turns. Everyone becomes terrified of this creature. So that doesn't actually affect your any follow-up attack against it, does it? You just is it disadvantage, or you can't move towards a creature you're frightened of? I think.
No, you have to run away. You have to spend your entire movement.
I thought that was a specific trigger of some fear abilities.
It's just disadvantage, I thought.
Let's have a look. I don't think by default you have to move free. Otherwise, those abilities wouldn't be like.
Frightened
and
is
you
disadvantaged on attacks while fear source is visible. Can't willingly move closer to the source of fear.
Yeah, but if you're up next to it, you still can. So disadvantage on your attack is all.
Okay. So disadvantage. There you go. And that is me.
Okay. Quint, you're up.
I will.
Remember, you're prone as well. Oh, I know you. Sorry, yeah. Of course.
In an attempt to get to safety, I am going to Misty Step my way out.
Yep.
If you do decide to make any slashing attacks, now would be the time to do them anyway. Although you've got well, you can't have double disadvantage, can you? It don't matter. Never mind.
It is. Oh, it did do it. Not quite as far as I wanted to go.
So yeah, you pop to your feet at some distance away. As we laid out in the home rulings, you can Misty Step from prone to on your feet.
I will repeat my action from before, which is to try and shoot it and firebolt it, but disadvantageously.
Mm-hmm. Misses. Badly misses.
And I will continue to flee around the corner. That's
Okay.
me.
As you are fleeing, no, actually, that's not the case. Whisper, you who is shuffling back from the creature, it's facing towards you. This is before its turn. It stomps both feet. I need you, Whisper, to make me a DC 15 strength saving throw as the ground starts to crumble and cave around you. Goodness. Whisper, you see, well, everybody else, you see a sinkhole open around Whisper, and she is going to fall into one of the Grambolette's collapsed tunnels, which is a 10-foot radius, 25-foot tall cylinder. So can you do 2d6 fall damage, please, Whisper? And then for the creature's turn, it is going to turn around as that snack falls out of sight. If you can knock those 9 HP off yourself, please, Whisper. And it is going to attack Grigori. It is just going to make its heavy. This heavy maw snaps out towards you. You haven't got advantage against a frightened opponent, have you? It's just only on the frightenee. It is going to bite out at Grigori, but misses badly.
It needs to make a wisdom 6. Each time the branded creature deals damage to you or a creature you can see within 5 feet of you, the branded creature takes takes psychic damage equal to your modifier, which is 3.
Okay. Well, it hasn't so far. It missed you. And gravity hurt Whisper, not the creature. But yeah, the jaws was in front of you. That's all it can do. Vanessa, it's you. You've seen Quint run. You've seen Whisper fall into a sinkhole. And you are also afraid of it.
Yes, I can't move any closer to it, but I can try to... What can I do, actually?
Area attacks.
Yeah. I don't have any of those, unfortunately. But I will try to... So I'm going to use another point, sorcery point. I'm going to try to cast Mind Sliver on it again. Target it. Here we go. Alright.
Sorry, is it at the end of your turn to roll against the frightened, or at the beginning?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It is the end of each of your turns.
Right,
End of your
so can I roll it now then? Because it happened in the middle of my turn. So it would happen at the end of my turn. I should be unveered.
Yeah. Same for Quint getting around the corner. Let's have a look. Vanessa, yeah, it succeeds.
Alright. I'm just blowing some
Quint.
shit right now. Nice. I don't know what else we're gonna possibly fight. I can't keep blowing through spells right now. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just magic missile it.
Disadvantage due to being afraid of it. Oh, but magic missile
no
just
such
hits.
thing.
Yeah. Magic missiles is in Japan heart surgeon number 1. They just.
And I rolled like ass on the damage. I'm sick of these dice.
Yeah, and you feel like the magic missiles are. You feel like the crystals seem to absorb a little bit of the impact from your spell.
Alright, now I'll make my wisdom save.
And you are still afraid.
That's my turn.
Whisper it to you.
So what is going on with me? Am I 20 feet down?
You are falling. Yeah, you are 20 feet down in a hole. It is dark. You can hear these cries from above. You're just in like there's not like tunnels leading off. It's like a sinkhole opened up.
Is there anything I can climb on? I don't have any fly or, anything.
Don't your gloves afford you a climb or burrow speed, I thought?
burrow, but not.
We can say underground claws. We can say this is scrambling up.
Okay.
I'll have that help with a save. These are underground claws for digging, and this is all dirt and soil and rock.
Awesome. Yes, I would like to climb my way out of this sinkhole,
We'll say
please.
it's a DC 14 athletics to climb out.
Sorry, you're burrowing your way out.
I'm digging. This
Burrowing
is the
your
first
way
rule of
upwards.
holes,
She's
right? You just
Wolverine,
keep digging.
Wolverine claws. Yeah, DC 14 climb check. I'll give you with the advantage. You're
My
not going.
God.
Nope, you don't go anywhere. Anything else you want to do while you're down there? Reflect upon your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make
Yeah.
your wisdom saving throw to see if you're still scared of it while you're down in the hole. Hey, at least you're not afraid of it. Now you're down there.
I'm afraid of the hole that
Yeah.
I'm in. It's
Grigori,
dark.
you're up.
If
There
she
are
was
wolves
afraid,
after
she
me.
wouldn't be able to enter turn closer to it.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, that's a good point. Climbing up is getting closer. Yeah, yeah.
As I am still here, then,
Mhm.
and I don't necessarily know what Quint's gonna do, but I know that he's got blades. It is currently still vulnerable. Hold on. Oh, how long is it? Or is it? It's gone now, isn't it? Was it until the beginning of my turn or its turn?
I can't remember.
I'm gonna have a look quick. It was.
To your class, the most I've ever seen this is the brief stint that Talazan played it.
Yeah.
And he didn't fucking know how to play it either.
So it's until the end of its next turn, so it's still available. So I will shout, "If you're going to use your blades, use them now!" And I am going to use the help.
Well, didn't you use it before your turn last time? And
I
then it's
used it at
gone
the beginning of my turn.
Oh, did
It
you?
lasts till the end of my
Cool, okay.
turn. So whether he's going to do it or not, there's not much else I can do at the moment. But so I am going to use my action to help. I will help Quint if he does choose
Okay.
to attack it, so he would gain advantage on his attack.
What's that look like? What you do? You're just trying to
I'm,
keep his
co-
attention?
I'm poised. I'm poised.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like waiting to see if he comes in, and if he doesn't, then obviously, I don't
Okay.
know.
Quint, it's you.
I obviously don't know that Quint can cast spells and shit, so
Yeah. Pop around the corner to survey the situation. Having somehow resolved his fear in his mind and seeing the terror that's being rained upon his companions, he is in fact going to rush in, probably very foolishly. And as he's running forwards, he is going to start swirling his hands around.
Ooh.
Good old hand swirl. And chant, Lathan, Siskadol! And he's going to summon from the darkness a shadow blade. A blade made of pure nothingness. And
Nice.
he's going to slash out at the bullet with the shadow blade. Okay.
Now, I can't remember exactly how Shadow Blade works. It is partially in dim light. You are attacking from dark, if that changes how it works.
That is fine. I think in dim light or darkness, it's advantage essentially.
oh, so you got advantage anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
How does? What is the casting time?
Ooh,
of
have
this
you
blade?
you've put your verbal component in the spell? I like that.
I've started. There's so many to do.
Nice. Yeah.
It's an action. I won't do that. I'm just going to attack it twice with the shadow blade.
Oof.
What level did I cast it at? I cast it at second level. I meant to cast it as third level, so I'll amend it as such.
Okay.
And a second strike.
It roars heavily. one of the plates just cracks as the sword goes across it and the creature roars. Anything else from you?
Did it use a reaction before?
It did. But that was not in this
Previous
turn. Yeah. So it had its reaction.
Hang on, let me check if I moved. I moved 5, 10, 15, 20, 35, 40. I'll come and kind of side by side with Grigori.
Yeah. Okay. As that blade cracks that plate and it roars, it just spins and spins and whips and stomps its tail, throwing up an absolute storm of dust and dirt and debris. I would like everyone. I'm just checking to see if Finesse is included in this. Well, Whisper won't be because she's not actually there. But everyone, I want Grigori and Quint to make me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, please, from this big whip of dirt and dust that it throws up. Grigori, you are blinded as all this dirt goes in your face. Quint, you manage to shield yourself, but the dust cloud keeps coming up and that area is now lightly obscured. Then begins the creature's turn. It is going to deadly leap. It goes, crouches in this dust cloud, and leaps again, landing here. Vanessa, can you please make me a DC 16 dexterity saving throw? In fact, don't if you haven't done it already. I'm just going to target you manually and do it through the ability.
Can we not have attack of opportunity on that?
No, because it's leaping. It's part of its movement from a standing jump, and it's through a lightly obscured area whilst you're blinded. I've triggered the roll from you. Vanessa fails. You see Vanessa's crunched down underfoot. It just comes out of this dust cloud onto you, Vanessa, but you see it's heavily wounded. And as you're knocked prone, it doesn't even stop. It just keeps walking and topples over the edge, back down into the burrow from which it emerged. It's then you, Vanessa. You are prone.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta use my action to get on my feet, right?
No, just half your movement to get up.
Oh, half my movement. Okay, got it. So yeah, half movement, get up. I'll look down at the others. I'll say that she's kind of like on hands and knee, you know, obviously looking worse for wear.
You just hear the heavy raking of claws on rock coming from the hole next to you.
Does it sound like it's going down or trying to come back up?
It sounds like it's heading down.
Okay. It sounds like it's heading down.
We follow it. It's already injured.
Are we sure that it's quite a monstrous creature?
How far's your dark vision, Vanessa?
120 feet.
620. Looking over the edge, I would say for the remainder of this round, you're able to see it. If you want to take a pot shot at it as it goes,
Yeah.
it is limping heavily.
Yeah, I'll just do a little mind sliver on it.
Go for it. I'll re-reveal it for targeting purposes.
Ow! I guess on who?
Who did you do it to?
Okay.
Everybody.
Oh, did you? Tell me how you kill it.
Shut up.
As it's ripping away down the corridor, getting away from you, you manage to get it. It was on 5 HP. Tell me how you want to kill it.
So, I think as everyone's kind of talking, trying to figure out what they want to do, Vanessa still sees it while she's on hands and feet. And I think she's obviously pissed that this thing just flattened her. And she just starts to channel that anger into the sort of psychic wave. And everyone who has dark vision, I think, sees like this sort of black aura emanate from her. And then it lashes out like 2 long arms. And it just sort of takes the creature's head and sort of plunges its claws into it and dissipates.
as it does, you see that frantic run just turns into a bit of a tumble, but given how deeper and deeper it clearly starts to go, you just start to hear the really heavy crash of it rolling and tumbling and those crystals breaking, and you become distinctly aware that how long it goes on for before it finally, there's a pause and it stops. And then about 10 seconds later, you hear a very distant, very faint. You get the impression that this has fallen for a long time.
I kind of wobble up to my feet, standing there, and just sort of spit in the hole.
You would feel that it fell beyond the scope of this particular...
Yeah. It was just more of a gesture of fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
than anything then. But yeah.
But yeah, you have heavy wounds in... For most claws come down in your stomach. Everyone seems in a rather bad way. Whisper is not there.
While this is going on, can I climb out? Are we still in combat?
You are not in combat anymore.
Okay, so can I climb out?
And make it still in athletics check, try and climb. Yeah. You've done it unaided.
Okay.
Yes, it was a 40. You managed to make it out, fistfuls of dirt. And yeah, you see that Grigori looks fine. Well, as a few seconds pass, maybe that DC 15 save again, Grigori.
For what? The blindness?
Yeah, from the dust cloud. You emerge, Whisper, into just a settling large dust cloud is whipped up here.
It was wisdom for blindness?
No, con.
Sorry. I think I rolled wisdom
I might
anyway.
have said
Yeah.
wisdom, but it was con. For wisdom to close your eyes. Oh my god. Yeah, Gregorius is there.
I can't see anything!
Yeah. But your observation, Whisper, would be that Grigori is the only person who, other than the fact that he's currently really bothered by dust in his eyes, seems to be healthy and hale.
I am going to come and just put like a hand on his arm, and then call over to Vanessa.
Sorry.
It is just me. And then call over to Vanessa. Vanessa, could you come close for a second? I will heal us. And then, DM, I would like to start chanting with a look to Quint too, to indicate that he should stay close as well.
Yeah.
I would like to start praying, and cast Prayer of Healing.
Good show.
Who's there?
How do I select this
You hear
many?
echoing
There we
around.
go.
When Vanessa gets up closer to Grigori and sees that he's apparently unharmed.
I've got
I
a
think
few
so.
scratches, but yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah. Does it look like they're healing, or does it just look like he just
As you kind of like come over, you see like a little scratch, just kind of like just heals up a little bit. But that seems to be like the element of it. I'm not like kind of like fully regenerated or anything.
Yeah. Imagine there's like blood running out of Vanessa's nose and mouth, and she just sort of looks up at him and says, "What's that?"
What's what?
This, and she just sort of wipes away whatever trace of blood was there.
Okay, get the dust out my eyes. Blood. You've seen it before.
There was a cut there, a wound.
Yeah. Man, just a little thing, and I'll hold up a ring. It does helps a little here and there.
Fascinating.
Not as fascinating as the things that you were all doing. Quite impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Whisper, for the healing. I was when it jumped upon us, that was... Oh, that doesn't bear thinking about. I've heard of these creatures before, they're quite monstrous.
I've never encountered anything like that before.
I believe
And I hope
it's
to
said
never
that
again.
Their natural armor is said to be incredibly tough, and they're extremely badly tempered, as we discovered.
Well, it's dead now. So we should
It
carry
is.
on.
Are we able to harvest some of that armor?
Yes, given the sounds that I could hear from the hole, I'd wager it's probably tens, maybe hundreds of feet down.
Ah,
It probably isn't going anywhere. It's maybe an option for on the way back.
or
I mean,
perhaps we should not go down in the hole where it came from.
I've
I
never
don't
seen a
feel
creature like that,
Relieved
but
by the fact that it had died, but I'm a little bit worried there might be more.
I can't say for certain, but typically predators that large are solitary creatures, no? If they were pack animals, then I'd imagine we'd have been fighting more than one of them.
Valid point.
And besides, our friend here can get us to fly down there pretty easily. For on the way back, perhaps.
Yes, perhaps.
Ah, good fight, all. Shame I couldn't do quite as much as I wanted to. That armor was, surprisingly thick. Hopefully, the next one will be a little bit softer.
I think while we're all sort of getting our bearings, Vanessa will sort of just drift off over to the side and turn herself away from the others, but she'll lick the finger that drew that picked up some of Von Wolf's blood.
Oh, are you doing it subtly, or I mean, you're just?
I'm trying to, I'm trying to be subtle about it.
I think you should make a sleight of hand then.
I agree. I do it against my passive perception because I'm not exactly kind of
Be everyone's passive, I guess.
Sure, yeah. My
Oh,
passive
I thought you was coming in strong there.
Yeah, my passive perception's 16, so I kind of like side eye, and I will kind of like make it known, like looking at you, that I see what you've done and see your response to it.
I think she looks up and just says, "We should get going."
There was a door near the entrance. Did you already look in there?
I think it just loops around into what seemed to be a room with sarcophaguses.
Oh, you're right.
Sarcophagi, oh, of course.
GM, is that book on the pedestal there?
No.
Okay.
Are we looking at wrapping up? It is 10:30.
I think it is a good point for us to. You licking your wounds with this stretching corridor off ahead, and the unusual little praise you just got from the unknown voice. I think we will wrap things up there until next week. Good combat, y'all. And we will see you
That could have
all
gone very badly.
next time.
Yes, it could have.